How to make a mixtape.
Yeah, overall thoughts. You go first.
All right, overall thoughts. I think it didn't play out the way I expected, and I like that. But the three of us were talking in text beforehand, and she was heavy. Jessica was heavy on the Canadian legacy thing, and yet even she brought stuff to the table that was not Canadian legacy stuff, and that's not a knock. Like Japan Droids are great, but that's not exactly like a legacy artist. Like
I
if you're talking legacy artists,
I expected
exactly.
Joni Mitchell.
It's Joni Mitchell and Rush and Celine Dion, and right, like and
yeah, totally.
I'm actually glad it wasn't all that. I think one of the things researching this, and I think you found the same thing, was that holy shit, the depth of Canadian music is deep. And there were artists that you would realize that you loved already that just happened to be Canadian. And how am I not going to include them? Then? If we didn't spend much time talking about them. Selfishly, I will bring them up again. But Death from Above 1979 was like influential on me musically, on how I play music and how I was like what I played in bands and stuff. Like they were a big deal band to me, and I had no idea they were fucking Canadian until I started researching.
What a great discovery! I'm stoked for you.
So overall impressions is it's a little more like underground than I expected it to be, but I think that's cool. And I think that's what makes this podcast cool, is like when you get three individuals that just you can't help but bring your personal taste into it.
Yeah.
And it makes for interesting mixtapes. What about you? What's your overall impression?
Overall impression, I'm totally aligned. I expected a lot of it to be very on the nose, and the more research I did and the more obscure artists that I found that were, I shouldn't say obscure, I guess obscure. I feel like mine are pretty fucking obscure. The more obscure artists that I found, the more I was like, oh shit, yeah, I agree with you. I couldn't believe that half of them were Canadian. So that was kind of shocking.
Such a like American centric view, like fucking
totally.
Asshole Americans thinking everything's from America. But I mean, most things that we listen to are.
So. I don't know how I feel about the fact that Jess was not immediately on board for HTTMT apparel. HTM.
Yeah, she's very.
That's an opportunity.
She's very stylish. Is the complimentary thing I'll say about her, which means that she probably isn't just going to throw out that she'll wear anybody's merch. Like she would probably need to see it first. If I'm being nice, if I'm being sweet.
Yeah, that's really nice to say you, because I think it's just downright shitty.
I mean, we are,
friends over fashion.
There you go. Friends over fashion. Come on, Jess.
Fucking A. Wear that fucking How to Make a Mixtape shirt.
Well, she just texted us as we're talking about this, and she said she was surprised there was no crash test dummies. And then she called you out,
and she also spelled my fucking name wrong, which is also really cool. So, if you'll do me a favor from this point forward, just delete the whole fucking episode. Spell my fucking
just delete it. You spelled Donnie's name wrong, Jessica.
Delete the whole fucking episode. It's done. Episode 10 is reserved for somebody else. All right,
self-evaluation.
Yeah, for sure. Positives. I'm stoked I'm really excited that I did get Propagandy first track out. Like, I'm stoked that they ended up on the mixtape. I'm stoked that everybody had a connection to them. I'm really proud of that. So that's my positive. Opportunity.
And G7 Welcoming Committee didn't come up, which is the label that the dude from Propagandy started, which has so many great like political bands on it too, which that's a whole other thing. But anyway, great call.
Yeah, opportunity is that I'm pissed that I put 3 Inches of Blood in there over Pup, because Pup is a bigger band in my life than 3 Inches of Blood was. But again, I feel like metal is a misgenre for us. I feel like we don't have enough metal.
In terms of genre variety, it was the right move, though. To your point, so like that's fair enough for you personally wanting Pup on there, but in terms of a mixtape diversity, that was a better call, because Pup would have been another punk band, and we already had multiple punk / dance punk / indie punk kind of things on there. So, I'm gonna say I'm proud of myself that I went through, even despite your guys' negative comments, that I went through with my red string theory anyway. I thought it might cause ripples and issues. Like, I know it's a bit of a douchey thing to do to drop a bunch of band names in another band's pick, but
Yeah,
I
it's a
wouldn't
dick
have
move.
done it. I hope that you know, and I hope that Jessica knows that I wouldn't have done it if I didn't find it, one, incredibly interesting. Like I didn't expect
Totally,
to
of
find that when I
course.
researched Metric. And two, complimentary toward Canada. Like this whole like indie music scene that came out of Toronto at that time deserved to be discussed.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it would have been discussed if I just said, hey, here's a Metric song and here's why I like Metric. And then somebody else picks like Feist or Stars and says, here's why I like them and here's why they're cool. It's like, no, like this is a whole big thing that should be talked about. Sorry if I ruined somebody's pick.
Yeah.
Opportunity is I picked Metric and Death from Above, and they're in the same genre. And I you know that I hate doing that, Donnie. You know I'm like I like to. I literally write like when I wrote my list, I wrote different genres down first, not bands, and then I plugged bands into the genre, making me pick 4 different genres. And then because Alanis Morissette got taken off the board, I had to shuffle, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna stick with Death from Above. So.
I'm actually happy for that reason that you yelled out Silverstein, because if I had Silverstein and Boys Not Out on there, it would have been way too similar. So I'm glad I got really aggressive political punk. I'm glad I got like a little post emo. I'm glad I did Psychobilly. First time we've had Psychobilly / Rockabilly on the podcast on an episode.
There's just so many Canadian punk and metal band punk and like emo metalcore like that don't like. I mean, I'm just looking at the list now. Like Subhumans, Billy Talent, Sum 41, DOA, Comeback Kids, The Skulls, like Simple Plan, Gob, SNFU is Fucked Up is Canadian. I didn't know Fucked Up was Canadian. Like so many. Chicks Dig It, My Fat Records days. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Like there's a lot on here. So good. Hey, Canada. Good for you. Flatliners.
Good for you.
Good for you.
It was again. I love. It was another great episode. I do think we did a good job. I do want to say that I think we did a good job, Rod. Hey, you know what, Rod? Good job to you.
Yeah. Good job to us. Good job to you too, Donnie.
Yeah.
And that went
11.
fast. That went fast.
Episode 11. I wish there was something fun we could do for this one for my birthday being 11/11. It's usually a number of choice of mine for people that think that numbers have influence on the universe. But
birthday songs,
different versions of Happy Birthday.
It'll just be Happy Birthday and the Stevie Wonder birthday song.
That's a great. Or the birthday song by the Beatles.
Or where they it's sorry Beatles, that didn't work. You tried to reinvent the birthday song. Stevie did it.
Yeah, he did. All right, buddy. Until next time.
All right.
Great recap.
Bye.
How to make a mixtape.